Your life got value. Your life got extreme value. Every life got extreme value. And you can transform any condition, and you can be yourself and move forward in a proper way. You can go ahead and do that and love and be yourself. It would be struggle though. It would be struggle, but the outcome would be what you want. The outcome would be what you want. And we want, it is taught to us in the Holy Quran, we want peace. We want peace. So we want to move with like an idea of the heart, comrade. What's valuable in the human beings is the heart. Unite with your brother and your sister from a good heart. Don't, because that's really what makes us who we is. Not our race, not our class, not our gender, not our like sexuality, not our this or that. But really like our character, our heart. That's what makes people who they are. And we all in motion. And we all have unique value despite whatever differences. And we can work things out through building. Building is how revolution is going to come to power. It ain't going to come to power through no war, not like no like a coup or like. It would be all of that. Yeah, like you want to see all of that. Like don't get us wrong. Like it's going to be all like different stuff going on. Like as far as but we don't want that. But what we want and what we about is building. We about enjoying like the moments of life, enjoying like this precious life and loving as many people as we can and exchanging and knowledge and understanding and wisdom and gifts between each other. And we just want to build. And that's really like where our work come in. Our work come in the building. The pigs is dealing with the destruction. And as they say in the scriptures, it's very true. The ones who live by the sword die by the sword. But we take up the sword, but we don't live by it. We live by peace, because that's our work. Understand that no one is better than anyone. Like everyone have like equal value. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing. That make you feel so good. That make you feel the best. Because everybody is the best.
So my name is Thomas Ford, president of Exodus Incorporated, founded in 2009. And one of our main platforms, initiatives, advocacy initiatives, is to get some relief of the 13th Amendment. I know it's a process, a state-by-state process, and we're trying to galvanize a national movement to the 13th Amendment allows a person that's incarcerated to be treated in conditions that parallel slavery. That is so draconian to think that they can actually strip a person's citizenship because of criminal conviction. And what in fact that does is when a person comes out of prison, that stigma stays with them. In fact, the returning citizen population, folks that have been released from prison, still have that stigma once they come out. And they're the only population in this country that is legally discriminated against, meaning an employer doesn't have to hire you, doesn't really have to give you a reason. People for housing, there's a lot of credit checks, there's a lot of background checks, and folks have the ability, employers, folks, renters, they do not have to deal with you as they do other populations that are protected. And in Pennsylvania, there's a Human Relations Act in Pennsylvania that doesn't have that language. It covers race and gender and age, but the returning citizen population should be covered, and that's part of something that we're trying to push locally to get our rights, to become a group that's actually protected, our civil rights protected, because once you complete your term of imprisonment, you should have the total restoration of all your civil liberties. Should be returned. You paid your debt to society. So that is something that Exodus is trying to address, and we're at exodusreentry.org. Thank you very much.
Being a mother of a 6-year-old son and the wife of a revolution solutionaries, G-Law Foundation is our nonprofit in which we represent those that have gone to prison, that are returning citizens, and that have been incarcerated. We have fought for employees' applications to remove the box, ban the box movement, remove the box that asks, have you ever been convicted of a crime? Because that's a form of discrimination. We have to come together. We have to do something, not now, but right now. It's evident. I'm glad to say that my friend Jimmy Dennis, that was locked up for 22 years, a judge overturned his case, and he is now going to be a free man, prayerfully, if Seth Williams doesn't do anything to stop it. The judge herself stated corrupt cops, the system, the lawyers losing evidence, the recanted statements that weren't accepted. It's a fraud. So we have to do something about it. We have to come together. We have to stand together and refuse to be suckers, because jail is for suckers, not only for individuals that are in there, but we as taxpayers are the biggest suckers of them all for paying for something that doesn't work.
Anything else? That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
We got a place down on 60th and Master in West Philly. You know, you can catch the 10 trolley and get off at 60th Street. You walk straight down to Master. You know, like it's a real hot community center. We got a studio if you're into music. You know, we do spoken word, poetry, everything.
T-shirts.
Make t-shirts.
Look at this. Look at this.
All positive stuff. I mean, jail is for suckers, man.
Look at that. We make our own custom. T-shirts.
Jail is for suckers. I mean, hear that, man. Yo, come on, man. Jail is for suckers. I mean, come on. It don't do nothing but stop your progress. I mean, I never been in there myself, God willing. I mean, not yet. I mean, but I'm not trying to. I mean, it's for suckers, like I said.
You ain't doing nothing, man. 5 o'clock. We turn it up.
Werk. Oh yeah. Next question. No, you want to?
We about to release our new project called Ghetto Gospel. Prison Letters of OG Law. Man, 7 years in the making, 70 pages.
I mean, it's the only book. It's the only 7,000.
My family, after the beating, the jailing, the killing of men, women, children, and babies, we stood our ground in West Philadelphia in 1977. May 20th, we came out and said, there will be no more beating, baby killing, stomping the pregnant women in the street without a like response. The police commissioner got on the news the following day because the community, multicolored, multiracial, people of all, walks of life, got in between the police and moved. It was very youthful of all colors. Understand what went on May 20th of 1977. It was a power move. The people came united, and the police with all their heavy firearms, everything that they had, standing on top of buildings, guns aimed down at the heads of men, women, and children. When the community got in between them, it was going to be a massacre. But what changed it? The fact that people said we shall not.
That's right. That's right.
No more are we going to allow this to go in. The following day in the newspaper, Police Commissioner O'Neill said, MOVE had the right to bear arms on their property. Let MOVE speak. MOVE is a black organization, predominantly black. It's multiracial. And what happened, Police Commissioner O'Neill did not know and did not understand the law of this land. Although he was white and a police commissioner, he shot his mouth off about the rights we all have. But he hadn't talked to his bosses because 2 hours later, they put warrants on every man, woman, and child that was in that house. Said move riot. So I'm saying when you talk about stand your ground, it's not one day. We had to stand our grounds to bring the world into what's happening. And I thank y'all for being a part of that. We cannot do it without y'all. On the move. Y'all are our future. Y'all are why we are here. You are the mothers, the fathers, and the grandmothers of tomorrow. You are the people who stood ground 50 years ago. Whether your mind is in SNCC, the Panthers, Weather Underground or whatever, it was resistance. And it builds here. One thing about this movement, sometimes things is going to be hard, it ain't always going to be our way. But our way is the right way.
Right.
And that's not to ever give in, never compromise, be consistent. Whatever you stand to do, let's do it. We're going to get together and we're getting ready to march. We
Right.
let everybody
That's right.
around here
Right.
know. Our numbers are small here, but we all represent a lot of numbers. We represent resistance.
Right.
We resist the powers that sit in them schools and tell you to do wrong when you know it's right. And then when you act right, they want to give you a pill and slow you down. Rather than Prozac, whatever that is. They find a teacher that is loving and caring and want to nurture and bring all our youth to where they're supposed to be in this society. Then they want to get rid of the teacher.
Right.
And if a child stands up, if a youth stand up and speak out, then they want to quiet you down. There will be no damn quieting
That's
down
right.
today. We are going to march and we're going to say it how we want to say it, as long as we want to say it, because we got power. We got the power to let these people know today we still opposed to that damn verdict. Who the hell do they think we are?
That's right.
I'm saying that verdict was a spit down, a beat down on this child here, Marissa Alexander. The brother told you about her. They don't give a damn about us no matter where we at. She didn't have the right to stand her ground to protect her baby. Her 3-week-old baby has been without a mother for God knows how many years now. The fight is to free Marissa. The fight is to stop the prison industrial complex from snatching our children who want the right things in life. And some of them have dabbled in the wrong because why? Because these motherfuckers put it here. It ain't something that we want.
Right.
We don't want guns in our neighborhood. We don't want drugs in our neighborhood. We don't want fucking politicians in our neighborhood. We want what's right, and we want it now. That's why we're here. These wars that's going on in other countries, it's no different than the damn war that they have here. You look at the carnage in the street in Afghanistan and Iraq, Iran, they talking about chemical warfare. God darn, what are we breathing? Why are people being locked up, beat up because you complain about what's going on in the air? They talk about poison. You see these children dying and their stomachs is messed up because of what they ate in the poison. The hospitals here are full of it. We say the fight starts here, and we must deal with that situation over here. You cannot bomb a person to peace. Then we look at Afghanistan. Then we look at Iran. Then we see what's, I'm coming to Syria. I'm coming to Syria. And what's going on there now? We got to understand the principle of what's happening. You better believe every war that goes on here, corporate America is responsible for. The war in the schools, corporate America is responsible for. There was a movement called the 1%. 99%. Talking about the 1% that has it, right? And they're the reason why we're here today. They're the ones who gave money to Trayvon's murderer to make sure he won. Come on now. They changed the media's in with it too. Because Zimmerman's words was he was going to track or go after the coon. You know what a coon is? Do you know what it means to white folks and what it means to black folks? When they said they going coon hunting, they was talking about they was going after they didn't use the word nigger, but I'ma use it because that's how, when you hear that word, you understand how they feel. They don't feel like the N-word, something nice. When they say nigger, they mean it's not like how someone here would say, oh my nigger, you know, like that. When this motherfucker said nigger, he meant he wanted to kill it. He wanted to crush it. He wanted to make it look like Emmett Till that he could have. And he wanted for each and every last one of us. But our job is to show them resistance. We resist. We resist. And we will never lose because we will never stop fighting. The only way we're going to stop fighting. So let's get ourselves together.
What does the acronym MOVE stand for?
It's not an acronym. Each letter doesn't stand for a particular word. Move means just that, to move, to be active, to generate. It means not to stagnate. You know how horrible stagnant water is, how it smells when it stagnates? Well, that same principle applies to all life. Life is made to move. And that's where the name came from, the MOVE organization, because our belief is life, all of life, without any kind of separation. And life, part of the whole definition of life, is to move, to be active, to generate.
Can you describe who MOVE was and is?
Okay. The MOVE organization is a revolutionary organization. We're a family of revolutionaries. We were founded in the early 1970s, like 1971, by a black man called John Africa. And John Africa brought people together from all different races, religious beliefs, social, economic backgrounds, and brought us together, and in giving us one common belief, which is life, respecting, being protective of and reverent of life, anything that's alive. John Africa made us a family, a revolutionary family. And what makes us revolutionary is the fact that we are really the only people, the only family that respects all of life without separation. And there are animal activists, but even they make separations, They like puppies and cats and even wild cats and various animals, but there are certain species of life that they, don't do anything about, don't care about. Anything that's alive comes from one source. That is Moo's belief. This is what John Africa teaches us. Anything that's alive comes from one source, the source of life, the mother of life, Mama Nature. And if you can see and understand that all life comes from one source, then how can it be different? How can any one species of life be more or less important than any other species of life? Every species of life, everything that's alive, has its work to do, its importance in the whole scheme of life. And just because we may not be able to understand it or see it or interpret it doesn't mean that any species of life doesn't have a purpose. It should be exterminated, it should be done away with, or, exceptions be made to imprison, enslave, brutalize, No, all life comes from one source. And that is Moo's belief. That is what makes us revolutionary, because those running the system that we live in, those that believe in it and endorse it and push it, they don't believe in life. They believe in air pollution rather than the air. They believe in water pollution rather than water. They believe in soil pollution rather than the strong, fertile productivity of the soil that feeds all life. That's what makes us revolutionary.
My name is Hakeem Ali. I'm a representative of Reconstruction Incorporated, which is a community-based organization that focuses on men, women, and children that are returning to the community, helping them reunite with their families, helping them to get reintegrated into society after serving various periods of incarceration. We also work with men, women, and children who are still incarcerated and striving to make that transition, and some of the obstacles that they face in trying to, in fact, come home. We work with family members and etc. We also, Reconstruction Incorporated is also one of the many collaborative organizations that's working with Decarcerate PA. As a matter of fact, I'm doing this filming, leaving a meeting of Decarcerate PA. You'll find that this particular group is focusing on, first and foremost, stopping Governor Corbett from building prisons and expanding prisons in the state of Pennsylvania. It's important to know and to note that the monies that's being put into the construction of the currently Phoenix 1 and Phoenix 2, which is going to be replacing, according to them, State Correctional Institution Graterford that's in Montgomery County. But we've learned, we meaning the members of the incarcerate, that they're also planning to put a new roof on Graterford. So now, why would you be putting a new roof on an institution that you're going to tear down and replacing it with two institutions? They say that it's going to cost $685 million to build these two new prisons. But Governor Corbett's budget has already taken over $500 million out of education. Governor Corbett has also stopped general assistance to people that needed food stamps, access to housing. There's a major contradiction happening here.
I've been asked to speak a little bit about Unicor Federal Industries. A lot of folks don't realize that Unicor Federal Industries is a private corporation that's inside of the federal prisons in this country. Each federal prison in the country has a Unicor. Some prisons have multiple Unicors. And what they do is they make all manner of products that are sold on the open market. Unicor produces items for the armed forces. They make battle dress uniforms. When I was in Raybrook, they had a printing plant that did all the work for Congress. They make clocks, office furniture. They make literally hundreds of products. Unicor pay starts at 20 cents an hour when you first start, and it goes up to super pay, super grade, which is $1.20. Ordinarily, a guy who works for an entire month never misses a day, and you can't miss a day unless you have a excuse from the hospital, might make $150 to $200 a month. All right. From this money that is being generated, literally millions of dollars are being generated by the Unicors in this country. And a lot of folks don't realize this. If the public realized just how much money was being made in Unicors all across the country, they would be amazed. It's a classic example of underpaid labor. You're talking about jobs where on the street, you'd be getting paid $10 to maybe $15, $16 an hour. Unicor pays workers $1 an hour. So the overhead is extremely small. When I was in Atlanta Federal Penitentiary, under the mentorship of Dr. Ramona Africa, who is a great and visionary, revolutionary and leader who may never go home because the federal government has accused him of masterminding the escape of freedom fighter Assata Shakur. Dr. Matula Shakur has literally trained hundreds of men to go back into the community and to give back to the community, to atone for the things they did in the past, and to take his revolutionary ideas and teachings back to the community. I'm an example of this. I worked with Dr. Matula Shakur for over 12 years in 3 federal institutions, and we literally watch hundreds of guys go home. We're in contact with a lot of them, and they are supporters of the concept and the idea that as returning citizens, we can have a dynamic impact upon the life of our communities and our families. One of the things that was a part of our conscious circle in Atlanta is once you learn and you gain knowledge and you became more conscious, you stop working in Unicor. You stop supporting the slave system. When we say abolish prisons, we're not so naive as to say all prisons are going to be closed down. Because I spent 25 years in prison, and during that time, I met men who I would not want to see on the street or near any of my family because they were sociopaths and truly not a part of society. But that's a very small percentage. But for many of us, prison has become a university, a incubator, a thought process where we are able to learn, take in knowledge, and then move toward transforming ourselves into better and different people. This is one of the things that America needs to recognize and know about many of our revolutionary freedom fighters. And Dr. Mutulu Shakur is one of the foremost of these, who has taken his knowledge, his philosophy, his power, and literally imbued the minds of hundreds, perhaps thousands of young men, and helped them to change and move forward and to become better people. So for 18 years, I was mingling with some of the brightest criminal minds in the country. And a lot of people who are good people, they just believe that the system of government that we had, taxation and the entire structure, that they were better served making their money on the black market. That's how we used to think. But one thing that we taught inside of prison is to take those same skills that you honed in drug conspiracies and whatever criminal activity that you were involved in, and turn it into a positive experience. The same guy who ran a drug corner can run a grocery store. He can run any kind of business because it involves the same skills: marketing, supervision, management of resources. Our entire program has been to come home and to transform our families, our communities, and to move forward to a new reality. I now run the Center for Returning Citizens. That is one of the foundation stones of what we do. We help people transition from incarceration to freedom. We run reality-based workshops. We talk about real issues, how to come home, how to succeed, how not to be a part of your old life, but to transform your old life into something new, to truly love your family. Because if you love your family, you're not going to do a criminal behavior and run the chance of being taken away from them, disappoint your wives, your girlfriend, your kids, and go back to prison. Keep an eye on the Center for Returning Citizens. Keep an eye on Decarcerate Pennsylvania. We are going to show you what it means to be a force in the city of Philadelphia. Peace, power, and respect.
My name is Josh. I work with a group called the Youth Art and Self-Empowerment Project. And and we work with young people. We do a lot of work. We go into jails and we do art, poetry workshops with young people that are charged as adults. And we're trying to change the law that allows them to be actually charged as adults. Because we all know, I mean, when people do crime, punishment doesn't help. You know what I mean? It doesn't change what happened. What actually changes what happened is how you deal with the people that commit the crime, and you know, when they get out, how you help them. And we have, in PA, we have a tendency to lock people up and not help them. We just let them go, you know what I mean? We lock them up, give them a felony, and say, go on about your way. And we can't keep doing that, Corbett. And, so basically, you know, our stand, the Youth Art Self-Empowerment Project, stand on this whole trying to close 62 schools in the next 5 to 7 years or whatever. We don't want that to happen, and we're not going to allow that to happen. You know what I mean? And us as a community, we need to get out here, we need to stand up to these people.